All right, so let's start looking at the actual hardware, the overall hardware for the phone. So the Motorola X is running Android 4.2.2. It has a 4.7-inch HD AMOLED screen, 1280 by 720 resolution, which is, by the way, higher than what you find on the new iPhone 5. It is not higher than what you would find on, let's say, other phones like, for example, the Galaxy S4 or even, for that matter, the HTC One, but good resolution screen nevertheless. It has a dual-core Snapdragon processor, 1.7 gigahertz, and 2 gigabytes of RAM. And it either is going to come in two configurations, either 16 gig or 32 gig. It does not have expandable memory. That's one thing, and it does not have a removable battery. So you have basically a front-facing camera. If we look right here, starting in the face of the camera or the front of the phone, your speaker grill for your earpiece, sensors, light sensors, motion sensors, all the sensors necessary for the phone to recognize that it's either on your face or to determine what the ambient light is. One thing that I find that's unique about this phone is that I find that I don't know of many phones that have on the screen itself have a microphone, a pinhole mic on the screen. So I'd be careful with this because if your phone does get wet, you could probably ruin one of your mics right there. On the bottom, you have a micro USB charging port. On the sides here, you have your power button and you have your volume rocker, right? So power, and then you have your volume there. You have on the top, you have another pinhole mic, and you have your again your headphone jack. On this side, there is really nothing except your micro SD, or I'm sorry, not your micro SD, your micro SIM card. And on the back, you have your speaker grill. So you don't have a speaker on the bottom, which is where you see it, or on the back here, it's at the top. You have your flash. The camera is a decent sized camera, so you're looking around a 10 megapixel camera on the back with your flash. The Motorola logo, which is kind of recessed a little bit. And that's about it. There's not much more to say about this phone. It's highly configurable, so you can change, different aspects. This happens to be an all-white one. It's kind of boring, but you could get them where you have the front one color and the back another color as you personalize it. But there's not really much to it. The battery that this device has is a 2200 milliamp hour battery. So if you were to compare that to the S4 has a 2600 milliamp hour battery, so it's a little bit more, but not significantly more. And if you were to look at it as you compare to the Galaxy Note 3, which is a larger screen, so obviously it's going to use a little bit more power, that device has 3200 milliamp hours. It is an LTE capable phone, so and it's a decently lightweight phone. It's not that large. If I were to compare it to, this is an S3. You notice how it compares to an S3, and if I were to compare it to a S4, can put them. You can see that the S4 is S3 is a little bit wider. The same thing you see with the S4, which is even larger. So it's a decent sized phone, definitely a lot larger than the iPhone, since the iPhone is only has a 4-inch screen. So this has a 4.7-inch screen. So that was kind of a look at the actual device from a hardware perspective, what you see around the buttons, the physical interfaces. Later on, we'll do some reviews on startup and what sets the Motorola X apart. If you have any comments or questions, leave them on this YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit subscribe.